What's going on, everyone? We got a Honda 350 Rancher here in the shop today, and as you can tell by the video here, this tire is leaning a little bit, and what it is the bearing, the wheel bearing on this side's went out. So just gonna give y'all a quick video on how we go about replacing one of these. This is about a 2004 350 Rancher, so first thing we're gonna do, we got it up on a jack and everything. We're gonna take this wheel off and everything so we can get to our axle tube here, and then we're gonna work on taking it off. It's got 4 bolts on it right here, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So let's get started on this. Next thing we're gonna do is remove our carter key and take this axle nut off. This was already loose. Usually on something like this, when you have bearings that are going out, usually you'll find that sometimes the axle nut on these are loose from all the wobbling. Even though it's loose, we're going to use an impact here to just buzz it off real quick. Take our hub off. I think everyone can see that. That's the axle moving up and down, but the bearing in there also is moving up and down. So now we're gonna take, like I said, we got 4 bolts here. We got one here, and then one here, and one here. We're gonna take them 4 off to get this axle tube off. And you got this bolt right here that holds this skid plate over the differential you got to take out. Now, when you take this apart, if you got to go further into your rear end, depending on what you got to do, this little collar here, be sure not to lose it. I've took apart many of these that have been taken off. People forget to put them back on. What that does is this bearing rests up against that, so it holds it solid up in there between the axle here and the hub that goes on. It holds all that solid right there in the middle, so this is very important, don't lose it. Now we got our axle tube over in our vise here. Got a seal puller here, just gonna pop the seal out. And this bearing's gonna press out this way. Now there is several ways you can get this bearing out. I've got a press, and I've just so happen to have this piece of pipe laying around that fits just, I mean, nearly perfect down in there. So you can either set it up like this somewhere on a vise or something, or set it long ways in your vise. And this is what I mean by sitting it long ways in your vise. And you set it like this and tighten it down, and take you a piece of pipe or a long punch or something to drive this bearing out. I've done that several times. Works like a charm. Since I got a press though, gonna use a press. I like to do, since I got it out, I like to get all this mud and old grease and everything out of it, clean it up real good before I reinstall my new bearing. A little help with everyone that replaces bearings, whether it be on the front or rear, axle bearings, wheel bearings, whatever it is. If you will not run them, as you can see, this bearing's got some slack in it. If you'll not run them till they're just absolutely falling apart, they're 10 times easier about getting out, because you can push against this metal piece right here. Because on some of your front wheel bearings and stuff inside the hubs, you can't get to this outer ring right here very well. You have to chase it around with a punch or something. Now, if you got access to a welder, you can weld a bead around the inside of this outer one, and it helps it come out a lot easier. But best thing to do is not let your bearings get so wore out that when you take it apart, your bearings just fall apart. But if you do, then, you know, sometimes stuff sneaks up on us, and there are other ways of getting it out too. All right, so we got our new bearing, our new seal. We got our little spacer piece back on our axle. If you'll look right here, you see that lip down in there? That bearing's gonna go all the way against that lip. So we're just gonna... Now, you can either use a press or a race driver or whatever you want to use to get this pressed in. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. As you can see, it don't take much to get that drove in there. The bearing's still good. It's a nice time to put our seal on it. I had to drive it just a little bit further down. We got our seal on, we got our spacer on. Now for a little bit extra, I always put just a little bit of silicone around this right here to help all this seal off. Before we put our hub on, let's get us some anti-seize. Now we got our hub and everything back on. We got our Carter key in. The only thing left to do is put this little bolt in right here for your skid plate. And once you get it in, then you're ready to put your tire back on. So if you guys find this video helpful, please give us a like, a share, and a follow. It really helps our channel out. And y'all stick around for more videos like this. Catch y'all later.